everyone. Today we're going to do a little work with some balls, and there are different kinds of balls you can get. This is a 4-inch ball that a lot of PTs and OTs use, and it's air inflated. However, see how squishy it is? For some reason I don't have good luck inflating these, so it's a perfectly acceptable thing to use. Mine always end up like this. And that's a little too mushy for me. However, you can get these kid balls. They're foam balls, and this one is just slightly squishier than this one. This one, there was a whole planet theme, and I don't know if this is Saturn. You have to imagine the rings, but it's definitely has a little more firmness to it. See, this one's got just a bit more squish, and that one doesn't. But this, a little too much squish. So either one of these will do, and they're in different sizes, but it's a really gentle approach to doing some myofascial release self-care. And again, if you've been a client, the likelihood is that you've received something like this from me, or a pool noodle, or some semi-soft consistency tool to use. And then the other thing I wanted to introduce was the idea of using sandbags. So you can get these anywhere from Amazon, and they come just the bag itself, and it's 2 bags, and one is more of a kind of waterproof version, and they both have zippers. And so you take this one out, I suppose you could do it inside the thing, but I always fill it separately, and you just fill it with sand. I go to Ace Hardware, or you can go to Home Depot or any of the stores like that where they have play sand for kids in bags, and these are about, I don't know if they're between 10 pounds or so. So if you get 2 of them and you want to do just a little extra compression, 2 bags, that's 20 pounds worth of pressure. And I always say there's nothing like a set of hands. I just got finished doing some treatments with some of my girlfriends this weekend, and it was amazing. But you don't have access to a set of hands 24/7. Even I don't. So we do these little tools, and it's so much better than doing nothing. So what can you do with these? Basically, I tell people, find a spot on your body, because I could decompress the back. I had a childhood injury when I was, a young teen, on the back of my calf, where I was on a swing and it got smashed. And so I had a dead spot all back here. If I go like this, I can still notice the sensation is different. I can feel more than I used to be able to, but for the longest time it was just a big numb spot. So I could take that, put it on the ball, and then take a couple sandbags and just put them for a little extra compression. And boy, what I think too is ideal, because what a difference it makes. And just compress down in that area. And I've done a lot of work in this area just with my hands, doing some myofascial release and softening that mass of hardened tissue. It's softening the tissue. And so again, with all the MFR treatments, you want to hold it for 3 to 5 minutes minimally. That's a great place to start. I say if you can do 5 or 10 minutes, even 20 minutes on one area, that's beneficial. And so I would roll it around, and I just found a spot where it's either hard, hot, or tender. And so I had a more tender spot. I just shifted the weight back a little bit and could definitely feel into that. And then just relax. So I would probably do this lying down, and you can treat multiple areas at the same time if you care to. So I could put this in between my shoulder blades or anywhere to treat that area, but I'll show you one way to get at the psoas to do a psoas release. It's an area that's so tender on many of us, and I've talked about this using the pool noodle. You go right above, you find that top crest of the front of your hip bone, and you just go right in from there. And you can do one side at a time with this. Just position the ball. I always tell people, you know, when you hit the spot, because it'll be tender. And just like from going from this position to pressing my weight down into it, I can definitely feel a difference. I can feel the tenderness. And so for this one, you can get a pillow if you'd like, and you can just hang out here for a while. And when it's tender, you don't ever want a stabbing, shooting pain, but feeling that therapeutic pain is okay. And so I found a spot, and all I have to do is sink in. And you can do one side and then the other side. I would recommend that with the ball. And then you can bring your leg up so your knee is, so your shin is parallel with your body and your knee is out. But then in doing so, I've lost the spot. So I'm going to keep my leg back straight but you just want to be able to play with it and find the spot where it's hard, hot, or tender, or even a combination of those things, and just sink into it. And again, with my head down, I definitely felt it more. Now I can take a sandbag and I can just give myself an extra 10 pounds worth of pressure by putting it over my back. And it's something that if you don't have anyone around to help you, you can easily do this yourself. So the bags have handles on them. So I grabbed the handle and just pulled it over. And just breathe. Really breathe into it. And ideally, you want to hold the position until the pain dissipates, until you don't see it, feel it anymore. Now, another thing to do is the pec region. This region of your chest right here, your upper pectorals, and you can feel from your armpit all the way down to the chest or the breast area. And just doing this with my hands, I can feel it's tender. And we're a forward-leaning society. Our car seats have us reclined like this. When we're typing, when we're texting, when we're reading, it's all a forward-leaning society. So what you want to do, and you can do things up against a wall. I like to show floor exercises. I think it's more conducive to just sink in this spot. Oh, super tender. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap it out for this ball because it's slightly smaller in diameter. You can see that. But also it's slightly squishier. And again, it's not like no pain, no gain. You want to sink into it and feel the tenderness, but have it be bearable, because 5 minutes can seem like 20 minutes if you're in pain. And so you can play with your arm position. Again, the only time you're rolling around is to find the spot. And when you get the spot that is most tender, that's when you just want to sink in, add the weight if that's something that you have available to you or you feel that you need. But a lot of these things, just doing the compression alone without weight is going to be super helpful. And again, you want to hold that position anywhere from 5 minutes or longer is ideal. And you can play with the arm placement. And again, you want to feel the tenderness. And you might turn your body the opposite direction. And just sink in and feeling into the tender spots. And then becoming aware of your breath. I like to do an inhale through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. Put on some nice music. I like the quiet, and I do these videos usually without music so that you can do your own thing and pick what you want for yourself. And sometimes it's nice just to get quiet, to focus on the breath and to go within. Yeah, this was a much nicer option. Just a little difference in softness made a big difference in my comfortability level with training. And you can put this anywhere on the body. If you had wrist issues, you can, I like to do that with the 2 tennis balls that I put in a sock and tie it up. But you can do it with a single ball. But if you put your wrist in between the 2 tennis balls and just compress down, and again, that's a great use of the sandbags as well. Just, it's a very, these are all passive stretches or compressions, but just adding that little extra weight can make it a completely different treatment experience. So, all good. Just the compression here feels amazing. It feels amazing to do this. So regardless of where it is on your body, you can use these tools to help do a little myofascial stretching and self-care. You could put it underneath your thigh. People talk about having tight IT bands, and in the myofascial classes that I've taken, and studying myofascial anatomy with some myofascial yoga classes, there is the general consensus that the IT band is supposed to be tight. It serves a purpose. It's not supposed to be loose. And so rather than aggressively rolling on it and beating it up, this is such a nicer approach. You can just lay on it. And again, I got the harder one for this, but it's super, super tender. So you can just swap it out with a softer ball. And even though I'm really compressing down on this ball, like this one, I wasn't squishing like I am this one with my body weight. However, I can feel the tenderness, and it's perfect. And what I would do is to be able to lie down. You can experiment with the top leg if it feels better. In doing this, it's a 2-for-1 because I'm pressing into this area on my bottom leg, on my right leg right now. And so I'm pressing into the IT band area. And then I'm also, with the top leg, getting a whole long stretch through the torso. And if I pivot it back, instead of my hips being completely stacked, it's good to have them stacked, but I'm now taking this foot and putting it behind my leg, and I'm opening up this whole channel. And if I want to further increase the stretch, then I can just drape the same arm over my ear and do a long stretch, and even imagine someone grabbing me at the ankle and at the wrist and just pulling in opposite directions. And just breathing into the stretch. I'm still feeling the tenderness of the ball on my IT band area. I say that because we're working the fascial system, and the fascial system it's the entire body. And so we may work in certain areas, but really we're working on the fascia and it affects the whole system. Even if I'm pressing here, my entire body is being influenced by the treatment. Because if I've got a clogged up highway in one section and it was supposed to be 5 lanes, but it's only operating at 1 or 2, and I open up those other 4 lanes or 3 lanes, then all of a sudden the whole system is flowing more smoothly. Just spending a little time each day with a ball on the floor. And now if people can't get down on the floor, I like to teach people to do things on the floor because it's incredibly passive. If you are up against a wall and you are doing any of these things, then your leg muscles are engaged in a different way. Your glutes are engaged. Everything, if you have an imbalance in your pelvis and you're standing up, that imbalance is influencing the whole system. But again, people can do these standing up. They can do a pec stretch up against a wall and having their arm out. Or you could do it without a ball and just making sure the shoulder is down. And if you think about it, rotating backward. So I'll give you a side view for that. So instead of having your shoulder up here, you're rotating down and back. And you can put your head in the opposite direction. You're getting a whole stretch in this area. You can do it up against a wall or a door frame, but you don't have to. You can just do the stretch yourself. So these are just a few ideas, and I'll keep doing videos. Maybe I'll do a video where I actually time it so you know you've done 5 minutes of practice. So you can give me feedback too and let me know what you like or what you'd like to see or any particular issue that you'd like to address with some home care, and I'd be happy to make some more videos for you. Thanks.